What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality podcast. I'm your host. I'm Caitlin Kenneth-Smith, and damn, it feels good to be back on the mic. To give a little bit of context, this is my first episode that I've posted in over a week because last Sunday into Monday, I got so fucking sick, and it was the most sick. I can confidently say that was the most sick that I've been in my adult life. And it was not fun. I would not recommend. But you know what? It is a part of life. And that's the shitty part. But the entire week, I was just completely knocked out, completely down for the count. And I took it upon myself to be like, you know what? I literally can barely sit up right now to sip water. I probably should just not even attempt to do a podcast. One, because it would probably be the most shitty podcast I would ever post. It would probably be more comical than actually informative and valuable, which, you know what? I should have done that just for the entertainment purpose of it. But the reality was that I could barely get out of bed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then finally started to kind of move around a little bit more Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and really felt a lot better yesterday. Still dealing with the sinus stuff, still have a really stuffed up head and blowing my nose and all that fun stuff, and just kind of feeling off, weak, not 100% myself, but so much better than I've been. So I'm grateful for that. Now, that brings forth the topic of today's episode, which is my thoughts from being on the couch sick for a week. Because I'm the type of person, and you probably, if you know me personally, or if you listen to the podcast enough, you probably can figure this out, that I'm a person who doesn't really fucking sit still a lot. And when I'm forced to sit still, I get very anxious. And so for me to have to sit on the couch, or literally have to choose to sit on the couch because it was almost forced, because I was just so sick I couldn't do anything else, it was really tough, but it gave me a lot of perspective, and I had a lot of time to just be with my own thoughts and think about things. And I wanted to share those thoughts with you guys today. But before I get into the topic of today's episode, I need to talk about another exciting announcement. Today, Monday, May 6th, post Cinco de Mayo festivities, the Powerhouse Mentality apparel drop is now live, and this is our biggest apparel drop so far in Powerhouse Mentality history. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit because we have over 20 pieces, 20 beautiful pieces that we've designed for you guys to choose from. We have different colored t-shirts. We have different design t-shirts featuring our new secondary minimalist logo that Stone drew up and created, so it's a really special one. And it's kind of like a pirate flag waving in the wind with our original logo on the flag itself. And the flag, it's super important because the flag is a little bit used. It's a little bit battered up. It's beaten up. And it's a symbol of, in life, you're going to get beaten up, but you're going to just have those scars that are going to give you a unique personality. And those scars make you the person that you are today. And no matter what you've been through, you can always, always fly in the wind, no matter what life throws at you. So there's so much meaning behind everything that we're doing. But also, I'm just going to straight up say it, the apparel is freaking dope. We brought back, by overwhelming popular demand, the lightweight long sleeve hoodie that people loved so much from the bundle pack that we did. And that was by far the favorite piece of apparel. So we made sure we did that in a couple of different colors with a couple of different designs. And we fixed up a couple of different things on it. We made the sleeve a little bit more, a little tighter at the wrist so that it wasn't like floating around and getting in shit. And we made a different seam on the hoodie to make it look like you were less of a cone head when you put your hood up. So, little different things. And of course, we're going to have so many other things coming out as the months go on. But with summer coming, we figured it would be a perfect opportunity to just release a lot of just different base foundational t-shirts a tank top, the lightweight hoodies that you can wear like on a summer night because I fucking love that shit, and then 2 hats because so many people wanted some hats. So go ahead. I'm going to put the link down below in the show notes for you guys. Go place your order now because this is a pre-order. So for the next week, we will offer this. And once everything is sold out, we are sold out. I know a lot of people were really upset that they missed out on their sizes last time. So if you know you're somebody who has like a very typical size, like a medium or a large, get on that shit because it will sell out. And I don't want you guys to miss out on this one. So go support the brand. Go get yourself some dope stuff. I'm super excited about it. I know we all are as a team. But outside of that, let's get into the podcast episode because I don't want to talk too much about it since I already spoke a lot about it and there's really not much else to say. And for everybody who supports the brand, I appreciate the hell out of you. For everybody who listens to the podcast, I appreciate the hell out of you. And for everybody who checked up on me while I was really, really sick, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And it means the world to me to be able to have a network of people who check up on me when I'm not feeling my best. So let's get into the thoughts that I've had while being sick on the couch for a week. Now, I like to list things out because I feel like it gives you guys a little bit more of something to grasp onto and you can like focus on different subtopics within the episode. So I came up with 5 different things that really were at the top of my mind. And I really listed them in no particular order. However, as I kind of read through it, I was like, well, I definitely thought about like the first 2 more than anything else. So the first one is while I was laying on the couch and while I was like trying to find things to do to make me not scroll on Instagram any longer and lose my damn fucking mind, I realized that some people live like this every day or more days than they don't. And they don't just live like this for the hell of it. They live like this because it's their choice. Whether it's their choice in the moment, like they made the conscious decision to say, you know what, instead of doing anything productive, which I will argue that like sitting on the couch can be very productive depending on the situation. For example, if you worked a full day, you got so much accomplished, you're super fulfilled, and you're a little bit overstimulated, sitting on the couch is going to be something that's actually going to be extremely beneficial to you. Same thing with somebody who's trained all day long, and you had a really hard training session, and now it's time to recover. Sitting on the couch is going to be extremely beneficial. So I want to just preference that before I have somebody jump down my throat and say, grind culture is killing us all, because it is. So you have to realize that what I'm talking about is somebody who literally doesn't do much productivity throughout their life, and they spend a lot of their time just sitting on the couch, playing video games, which again, nothing wrong with video games. I do that a lot in order to wind down. We love some NBA 2K right now. That's like the top game that we play. But some people choose every day to, instead of doing the things that they need to do in order to become the person that they want to be or become a better version of themselves, they choose to do things that are less productive, that are just stimulating and provide them with some sense of accomplishment, but it's almost like a fake or manufactured sense of accomplishment. Like when you play a video game, a lot of people play video games because they don't have fulfillment in their life, so they seek it through winning in this game. So they win in fucking NBA 2K, but they can't fucking win in life. So they fill that hole and they feel a little bit better and they get that dopamine hit from that video game. But it's not the same as getting the dopamine hit from life, from actually moving forward in your life and accomplishing things in your life. And whether they choose to do it in the moment, to sit on the couch and kind of just be lazy, or they do it because they're forced to sit on the couch and be lazy because of the choices that they've made in their life leading up to this point. For example, somebody who is extremely overweight, who can't do basic things because they're so overweight and they're forced to sit on the couch more than they'd like, because of the choices and decisions they've made up until this point. They made choices that reflected in them putting on the weight. And yeah, maybe it was I got out of control and I couldn't figure out the situation. I had an addiction to food and it's not as easy as you think. I get that. I understand that. I've worked with a lot of people over the last decade of being in the fitness industry. I understand that. But what you don't understand is that there's a mindset that you have to create. And if you're really serious about getting out of your own way and getting out of the situation that you're in, you have to be not a prisoner of your circumstances, but you have to allow your circumstances to create power for you to take action. Because it's never going to feel good to make a change. It's never going to feel good to change up your habits and behaviors and do something completely different. But it's always going to feel good once you start developing that momentum from doing those things consistently and doing them when you don't feel like doing them in order to become a better version of you. Maybe not just for you, but for the people around you. So what I realized, and I realize this every single time that I'm in this situation, when I'm sick and I'm forced to be on the couch or I'm injured or something like that, I become so much more anxious and so much more depressed. And what it really boils down to is that I spend so much time just kind of on social media or just trying to like distract myself that I lack purpose and I have zero fulfillment, because it's not like what I'm typically doing where I'm doing work or I'm recording a podcast or I'm training or I'm talking to clients or I'm creating content. I'm just absorbing content. And there's a difference between being creative and just absorbing content, because the more content that you absorb that you do nothing with, it just kind of sits there. And then you start finding yourself like, oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, I'm comparing myself to all these other people that are on this damn app, people that I have absolutely no business comparing myself to. And then you're not doing anything with your life, at least in the current moment. So you lack purpose. You have zero fulfillment from what you've done over the course of the day. And that leads to that anxiety. That leads to that depression. And a lot of the people who complain so much about their fucking mental health, and I'm going to get a lot of pushback for this one, but this is how I truly feel, and I'm here to share my opinion always. A lot of the people, not all of the people, because I will never speak in absolutes, and there are some people out there who truly have terrible mental health issues, and it's not caused by themselves. However, a lot of people, especially in today's day and age, have mental health issues because of themselves. They are literally the cause of their own mental health issues because they are not doing anything with their life because they're looking for the easy way out. And I feel very strongly about that because I used to be a person who didn't do anything with her fucking life. When I had my eating disorder, I didn't do shit with my life. My life was revolved around feeding this eating disorder. Or, not actually feeding it, technically starving it. But my entire life revolved around that. I had no purpose. I had no fulfillment in my life because I wasn't doing anything with my life. I wasn't getting uncomfortable. I was always just zoning in to the comfort of this disorder. And I had horrible anxiety. I had horrible depression. My mental health was terrible. And then when I started actually taking action, and I started getting outside my comfort zone on a daily basis and doing things that I never thought possible, not just with my training, but with my work and with my creativity, I realized, oh my gosh, I was creating all of these mental health issues. I've been diagnosed with severe OCD. And if you know me, and if you spend a lot of time with me, you'll fucking point it out right away. I have very bad OCD. However, it doesn't impact me as much as it does when I'm in a situation where I'm lacking purpose and fulfillment. Then it's just fucking out of control and I can't control it at all. So the best way for you to gain control over your life is to create some sort of a structure that gives you control. I have a lot of people who I've coached in the past who say, oh, I couldn't track this weekend because I was so busy. I had a lot going on this week, so I didn't do my workouts or I didn't track my nutrition because I had so much going on. Now, in those moments, I challenge that you probably need to do those workouts and you need to track your nutrition in order to give yourself control because you feel like you lack control in all other areas of your life. And when you feel like you lack control in your life, I spoke about this on the last podcast, you start to dig holes in your fucking life. So if you can give yourself a little bit more control through your nutrition, then you're going to give yourself control in your life, and that's going to allow you to have more purpose, have more fulfillment, and feel more dialed in and focused. And, going back to the mental health thing, there's so much statistical evidence from the past decade showing that with the rise of mental health issues, there's also been a rise in something else, and they're completely correlated. So reporting symptoms associated with major depression has increased by 52% in adolescents, which is 12 to 17 years of age, from the years 2005 to 2017. It's increased 52%. In young adults, it's increased 63%. That's fucking wild. Now, this one's even crazier. Suicidal thoughts in young adults has increased by 47% from 2008 to 2017. The first iPhone was released on June 29, 2007. That's not a fucking coincidence. The iPhone is an incredible thing. It helps me do my business. It helps me be creative. It helps me record things, whatever. Helps me connect with people I love. But there's a lot of good and bad to social media, to smartphones, to technology. So it's almost like you have to pick and choose your battles. Now, moving on to the next thing. And this kind of goes off of it, but number 2 is I will never, ever take my health for granted. And every single time that I get sick and every single time that I get injured, it allows me to really, really appreciate training and nutrition and my health so much more. And it makes me really almost angry, but also pushes me harder in my mission in life to help more people realize this, realize how important not just physical health, but mental health is, but just to get other people to care about their health as much as I care about mine and theirs. Because life is a really short thing, and I don't think we respect that enough. And so many of us are doomed to a life of adequate or mediocre or poor health because we just don't care enough, or we don't work hard enough because we want that instant gratification. And I think that's so sad. And I wish that so many more people would understand how important good health is. And it's a lesson that I've learned so many times in the past because, I had my eating disorder. I was on my deathbed. So there's something that almost dying because your body literally shuts down on you. That gives you so much perspective on how important health and how important life is. And that's something I'll never, ever take for granted. And I think that you should understand the same thing. Like, it's really hard sometimes to appreciate good health when you're just feeling okay, when nothing bad is happening. But then all of a sudden you have like a health crisis, or a family member has a health crisis, or you go to the doctor and you get some news that you didn't really like, or you step on the scale and you didn't see a number that you saw, like a number that fucking freaked you out. Or, you look in the mirror and you can't even recognize yourself because of how much weight you've put on. Or you go walk up a flight of stairs and you feel like you just got hit by a train. There's just so many things in life that you need to be able to take those moments and wake up a little bit from them and realize, I can really learn something from this moment, and what can I do moving forward to make a change? Because a lot of people will have those moments, and then once they feel better, they take their health for granted again. And it's like a roller coaster. It's like somebody who gets injured a lot, who every single time they throw their lower back out, they're in the chiropractor, they're stretching, they're mobilizing, they're doing all the things that they need to do. They're taking their omega-3s to reduce inflammation. They're doing their foam rolling. They're hydrating to keep their joints lubricated. They're doing all of these things. And then as soon as their lower back feels better again, they're back to their old old same shit. And then once they heard it again, they're right back on that routine. So instead of being reactive towards your health and towards your body, be proactive. Treat it right. You get one. Now, the third thing, and this is kind of a me thing, but it can relate to you as well. You know, I'm really blessed to have such incredible people in my life. And that's something that I continued to remember last week as people continued to check on me, and I got a care package from somebody, and there's just so much that I'm grateful for. And it allowed me to think, you know what, if you work hard and you do your best to help people win, and you be the best part of somebody's day, no matter how you fucking feel, and you try to just make that person feel good, and you be a good human throughout your life, you're going to get that in return without asking for it. Like, if you ask for it, then it's like, what's your intention behind helping somebody? But if you just go out and you be a good human and you focus on just being the best person that you can be, then you're going to be okay. Now, the last two are quick, straight to the point ones, and ones that I've spoken about a lot, or at least the fourth one is. You are 100% undefeated on your most challenging days. And there were a lot of challenging days that I had this week. Stone left on Sunday. I got sick Monday. And then I was just so sick that it was so uncomfortable. I couldn't sleep. It was, like I said, I was the most sick that I've been in my adult life. And I was all alone for it. And it kind of fucking sucked. And during that time, there were a lot of moments where I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is too hard. Like, I just want to quit. Like, I don't know what to do. And, you know, it would lead to a panic, or it would lead to me being, like, extremely down on myself and depressed. And what I realized is, one, never be a victim of your own circumstances. But then two, like, no matter what, I'm going to get through this. Is it going to suck for a while? Yeah. But I'm 100% undefeated on my most challenging days. Even on the hardest days that I had this week, I won those days because I made it through. So whatever you're going through in your life, no matter how horrific or how challenging those things are, just understand that they are temporary. You can handle anything that life throws at you, and life will throw shit at you. It will. It's just part of life, but you can handle it. So go fucking handle it. Feeling sorry for yourself and crying about it isn't going to do anything about it. You can have a moment to process what's happening. You can have a moment to be sad. You can feel these emotions, but don't let them overcome you to the point where you stop being you. And the final one is, if your body is screaming at you to do something, fucking listen to your body. Listen to its cues. And I did this for a really long time, and I taught myself how to literally ignore every cue that my body was screaming at me. When I had an eating disorder, I never listened to my hunger cues to the point where I didn't have any anymore. Or when I had a hunger cue, I thought something was very wrong with me. My stomach would be growling, and I'd be like, what's wrong with my stomach? Oh my God, like, something's wrong. When in all reality, I was hungry. Like, it sounds stupid, but it is what it is. Like, even to this day, there are moments where I'm starving, and then I'm like, I'll wait a little bit to eat. I'll wait an hour. I'll wait 30 minutes. And I'm like, why? Your body is screaming at you to eat. Fucking eat. And Stone pointed this out to me the other day, because he, you know, obviously he spends the most time with me, and he sees this all the time. And a couple weeks ago, we were going out to an Airbnb that we were staying at about 45 minutes from the house for the weekend. And I had my snack. I had an apple and a banana and a vegan powered protein bar that I was going to have before we went out to dinner. And I was like, oh, I'll just wait until we get there. I was starving while we were packing up and we were about to leave the house. I was starving. And we had a 45-minute drive. And I was sitting in the car, and I was like pissed off because I was so hungry. And I was very short. And I was just like, I'll wait until we get there. We can unload the car, and then I'll eat. I'll keep waiting. And like every moment that went by felt so slow because I was like so fucking hungry. And then Stone just turned to me and said, why don't you just eat? And I said, I don't know. And then I immediately went and I ate because it made no sense. It's just something that I'm used to. I'm used to ignoring the cues that my body gives me. So on Monday, when I woke up feeling so terrible and I had my workout in my email And I was like, I can probably do this. And I was sitting at my desk trying to sit upright. And then I eventually texted my coach and I was like, hey, I feel terrible today. I'm going to do my best with training. And he was like, why would you do that? Your body is literally telling you and screaming at you not to. So why don't you take today as a rest day so that you can be better for tomorrow? And I was like, because. And it made no sense. So the reality is there's a difference between you being lazy and making excuses and your body literally screaming at you to do something. So if your body is telling you to do something or not to do something, listen to your body's cues, because generally your body knows you better than you subjectively know yourself. So I hope that this episode was helpful for you guys. I hope that it added some value to your life. I'm happy to be back. Hopefully my voice will start feeling better soon, because it does not feel good right now to talk so much. But I appreciate you guys, one, for always supporting the brand, for always supporting the podcast, for always supporting myself. And go out today and do one thing that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be.